Now at 5, presidential candidate Ted Cruz was in the Summit City today hoping to gain any support he could to beat Donald Trump. Hear from Cruz and his supporters about the visit.
Plus, the fight over whether to build a truck hub in southern Allen County is in the past, but lessons learned from that debate will bring about change.
And we're going to wrap up the work week on a cool note tomorrow. I'll let you know if the weekend gets any warmer in your Live Doppler 15 Fury forecast. First at 5 starts now.
You're watching coverage you can count on. This is News Channel 15's First at 5.
Good evening. Today, presidential candidate Ted Cruz was in Fort Wayne for the first time.
And so was Carly Fiorina. Cruz named her as his vice presidential candidate yesterday. News Channel 15's Holly Campbell was at the Grand Wayne Center today for the rally. She joins us now in Studio 15 with tonight's top story. Holly.
Well, there is no doubt that all eyes are on Indiana right now, and that's why Cruz is making such a hard push for votes in the Hoosier State. People started showing up more than 2 hours before the event.
I didn't want to have to stand in line very long.
Before the rally started today, Cruz took questions from the media, including one about Ohio Governor John Kasich's campaign pulling out of Indiana, clearing the way for Cruz in hopes of keeping Trump from getting enough delegates for the nomination. This is what Cruz said about that alliance today.
There is no alliance. John Kasich made the decision in his own political self-interest to withdraw from Indiana and to go compete elsewhere. And that was a perfectly reasonable decision.
Carly Fiorina, who he named as his vice president candidate yesterday, opened up the rally.
I will fight with Ted Cruz because I had not a shred of doubt when I voted for him so many weeks ago.
I'm very impressed with her. I mean, that was the first I'd seen her in person, and everything was very positive.
Cruz said choosing her was an easy choice, taking a jab at Hillary Clinton.
Carly terrifies Hillary Clinton.
During the rally, Cruz hit on illegal immigration, ISIS, and jobs.
My number one priority as president will be jobs and economic growth. And if I'm elected president, we're going to repeal every word of Obamacare.
I just like his demeanor and the way he handles himself.
His defense of the Constitution, I think, is the number one critical element that led me to follow Ted Cruz.
Afterwards, some supporters even got the chance to meet their candidate.
He was very nice. He talks to everyone. He shakes everyone's hands. He's great.
It's an absolute thrill to be able to meet with him, shake his hand, and say hi.
Cruz will be back at the Grand Wayne Center Monday for another rally. That rally was planned for Sunday but got moved because of a schedule change. If you already have tickets for that Sunday event, those will still be good for Monday's rally. In Studio 15, Holly Campbell, News Channel 15.
Before taking the stage at the Grand Wayne Center, Cruz talked with the media about several topics. Among them, some recent comments by former House Speaker John Boehner. Last night, Boehner called Cruz, quote, Lucifer in the flesh. He also said, quote, I get along with almost everyone, but I have never worked with a more miserable son of a bee in my life. Here is how Cruz responded to those remarks.
But the interesting thing is, he said that I've ever worked with. I've never worked with John Boehner. Truth of the matter is, I don't know the man. I've met John Boehner 2 or 3 times in my life. If I have said 50 words in my life to John Boehner, I'd be surprised, and every one of them has consisted of pleasantries. Good to see you, Mr. Speaker. I've never had any substantive conversation with John Boehner in any respect.
Boehner said he and Donald Trump are texting buddies, and he would vote for Trump, not Cruz.
It's not all that common for a presidential nominee to pass through the Summit City.
That's why many people expected to see a huge spectacle outside the Cruz rally. News Channel 15's Kaitor Pessoa went down there to check it out. He's live in our newsroom with what he found. Kaitor?
I got to the Grand Wayne Center about a half hour before the rally started and barely saw anyone outside. It wasn't obvious at all that something big was going on inside. I did see one protester. He had a sign that said Hillary for prison. I took a walk around the outside of the center. I caught an NBC News truck parked there. I saw 5 marked vehicles, police cars, and a couple fire department vehicles. There were also some cars that were used to block off a sidewalk on the side of the building. Other than that, not much else stood out. The fire marshal told me there were almost 1,000 in attendance. When I asked people what they thought of that turnout, most said they expected more.
I I guess I was just expecting to see some spillover, maybe, people waiting to get in, or maybe a protester or two.
I was surprised how few people there were.
Because it was such short notice. I don't think people really had time to plan, and it is in the middle of the workday, but I thought it was a pretty good crowd.
I asked some people why they thought there wasn't more of a hoopla. Some say scheduling the event at 11 a.m. on a workday wasn't the best idea. Others say that it's because Trump is a bigger draw than Cruz right now. Live in the newsroom, Kaita Priscilla, News Channel 15.
Only one other presidential candidate has visited Fort Wayne since 2008. Ben Carson stopped here in December. 8 years ago, Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, and Ron Paul came to the Summit City. Clinton and Obama are still fighting for the Democratic nomination at that point. Ron Paul just hanging on. He was essentially out of the running against John McCain.
Ted Cruz's biggest rival, Donald Trump, was in southern Indiana this afternoon. Trump and legendary IU coach Bob Knight campaigned in Evansville a few hours ago. Once Trump left Evansville, he headed to Costa Mesa, California. California and Indiana are important states for him to be able to lock up the nomination.
We now know more about Bill Clinton's visit. He's coming to Fort Wayne on Saturday to campaign for Hillary. The campaign announced the former president will be at the McMillan Park Community Center on Saturday at 3 o'clock. He'll talk about the importance of voting in this year's primary and why his wife is the best candidate. Today, Mayor Tom Henry announced that he's backing Hillary Clinton to become the country's next president. He said, quote, thousands of Hoosier jobs were at risk in 2008 and 2009, and Hillary Clinton had the courage to stand with our workers and vote to protect jobs here in Indiana. She's consistently been on the front line to protect jobs right here in our community and will strengthen manufacturing and ensure Indiana and cities like Fort Wayne can compete in the 21st century economy. Hillary is a common sense choice to serve as our next president, unquote.
Early voting at the 4 libraries continues to be very popular in Allen County. More than 1,800 people voted early yesterday at the 4 satellite locations. From just Tuesday and Wednesday, 4,500 people voted early at those locations. Wait times have varied from 30 minutes to an hour. The election board said if you hope to avoid lines like this one today at the Georgetown Library, head down to the Rousseau Center, where there are generally no lines. And here's a list of the times you can vote at those locations. You have until 9 o'clock tonight, tomorrow from 10 to 6, and Saturday from 10 to 5.
Today was certainly a jacket kind of day, and another cloudy and cool days in store for us tomorrow.
Chief Meteorologist Nicholas Ferreri joins us.
And the umbrellas were very important, especially in the morning. Still at this hour, there are a few scattered sprinkles remaining, but all in all, the bulk of our rain from today is done. As the night continues here, we'll let these remaining showers scoot on out, and we'll be left with a mostly cloudy sky. Conditions will become cold again by tomorrow morning. Right now, we're a cool 53. Winds are breezy from the east-northeast at 18 miles per hour, and we're looking at our temperatures falling into the low to mid-40s by tomorrow morning at daybreak. 52 at 6 tonight by 9, 50, 47 at midnight, then 43 as the day gets going tomorrow. We do remain on the cooler side of average as we finish up this work week and head into the weekend, and there is another rain chance to track for the weekend. I'll fill you in the forecast in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Nicholas. The fireworks over building a truck hub in southwest Allen County now have officials rethinking their development plan.
County commissioners announced their plan to come up with a new plan. And News Channel 15's Ilis Ivinson was there. So what's this all really mean?
Well, in the most simplest form, this just outlines where people can build a house or a business or where industry could develop. A task force will now review and revise Planet Allen. That's a land use plan that was adopted in 2007 to give a guide for where to develop. But last year, during the truck hub debate, the study didn't hold up. Crown Enterprises wanted to build the facility off Winters Road near the GM plant. But whether or not they could, according to the land use plan, well, it depended on how you read it.
While people would tell us follow the plan, the attorneys were telling us no matter which way you go, you are following the plan. So we decided this is crazy. You know, if there's that much ambiguity in a plan, we need to get to a point where we can eliminate that ambiguity, make it easily readable, and put us in a position where we wouldn't have these issues in the future.
That's why now commissioners and a task force of leaders in the southwest part of town will update the plan for the southwest part of the county, so there won't be room for debate in any future development ideas. The area is about 36 square miles from Bluffton Road to County Line Road east to west and Branning Road to Hamilton Road north to south. They'll start meeting in June. Those meetings are going to be open to the public. The hope then is to have a revised plan in place by the end of the year.
Okay, thank you, Alyssa.
The investigation into how Prince died is still ongoing, but local authorities are now reaching out to the DEA. Find out why next.
Plus, dozens are dead in Syria following violence there in the past 24 hours. We'll tell you who people are blaming for the airstrikes that hit a hospital when First at 5 returns.
Coverage you can count on continues with Heather Herron and Brett Thomas.
A wave of airstrikes in Syria has reportedly killed more than 60 people in less than 24 hours.
As CBS's Tina Kraus reports, a children's hospital was one of the buildings hit.
Rescuers carried young victims from the rubble following overnight airstrikes in the rebel-held part of the Syrian city of Aleppo. A hospital and neighboring buildings took a direct hit. Fires were burning hours later. Internet video shows the chaotic aftermath. The hospital was a center for child medicine. Doctors Without Borders says at least 2 doctors were killed, including one of the last pediatricians working in the area. Shelling and bombings killed dozens in Aleppo. Activists call it proof the partial ceasefire agreed to in February has completely collapsed. The head negotiator for the Syrian opposition blamed President Bashar Assad's government for this latest round of violence. A Syrian military official denied reports the hospital was targeted. Tina Kraus, CBS News.
The UN envoy for Syria urged the U.S. and Russia to help restart the peace talks, saying the ceasefire hangs by a thread.
The Sheriff's Department in Minnesota that is investigating Prince's death says prescription drugs are a focus of their investigation. Sources tell CBS News the Sheriff's Office has contacted the DEA about possibly helping in the investigation to see if the pills found at Prince's home are related to his death. The DEA could possibly get involved once toxicology results are back.
I think I got spoiled by the 70s, maybe a false sense that it was going to stay warm.
Yeah, you weren't the only one.
Yes.
Nope. The cooler air is back. The rain has been falling. Hey, just remember this is getting us set up for some beautiful May flowers, right? In the forecast for the weekend, well, more clouds around and more rain too. I'm tracking it for you after the break.
Coverage you can count on continues with Chief Meteorologist Nicholas Ferreri's live Doppler 15 Fury forecast.
So our day started off quite wet, but now during the afternoon, the rain has been a bit more scattered. You can see on our live Doppler 15 Fury storm tracker, we do have a few lingering raindrops. Let's zoom in north of Fort Wayne to Noble County. Some rain showers near Kendallville, Rome City, east of Ligonier right now. Also some rain showers down to the south. We're seeing them around Hartford City and Portland. Now as the evening continues, this is just a slight chance that we see an additional sprinkle or two. Most of the day's rain is done. The remaining sprinkles here are scooting off to the northeast. The clouds remain, and look for a gray wrap-up to our work week tomorrow. The sky quite gray and overcast now from our Parkview field camera. The tin caps are playing tonight, and there's a chill in the air. Winds from the northeast between 5 and 15 miles per hour. Temperatures down in the low 50s, 52 at 7, 51 at 8, 50 by 9 this evening. Right now, we're at 53, but it feels like 48 because the winds are breezy and strong from the east-northeast at 18 miles per hour. Today's rain has been zooming on through to the north. Here's the bulk of the rain, the widespread soaking rain that we got from overnight into the morning, and now just the lingering sprinkles that remain. Tomorrow, we are going to be in between weather systems. You see dry air down to the south. The rain that will hit us over the weekend is still in the southwestern U.S., so it has a ways to go before it gets here. But Futurecast will time out its arrival for us as we get ready to make our weekend plans. For us tonight, cloudy. Overnight temperatures down in the 40s, so that's going to mean a cold start to our day tomorrow. 43 the low in Fort Wayne tonight. And then during the day tomorrow, look for it to be mostly cloudy all day long. It may look threatening at times, but just note there's no rain in the forecast for our Friday. And high temperatures in the afternoon will warm up to near 60, but most of us will be stuck in the 50s. So if you're wrapping up your week with a golf game, here's the forecast for your tee times. At 9 in the morning, 47. At noon, 51. By 3 p.m., 57. The winds tomorrow blow in from the north between 5 and 10 miles per hour, keeping this cooler than average air mass in place. High temperatures for most of us will be in the 50s tomorrow afternoon. The high in Fort Wayne 59, but 60s are a little bit more likely the farther south you go in the area. 61 in Decatur tomorrow and 64 in Bluffton. Now, during our Friday night, you can see the clouds still on Futurecast. Once we head into Saturday, that rain is moving closer, but the morning's going to be dry. The afternoon, though, on Saturday, a much different story. Rain will start to move in by noon and then continue through the afternoon into the evening with some pockets of heavy rain. A few thunderstorms are possible, but this is not a very stormy setup for us. It's not a severe weather setup either. It just gives us a nice soaking of rain. Into Sunday morning we go here, and a few scattered showers will linger then, but Sunday afternoon, dry. 59 tomorrow, 57 on Saturday. On Sunday, 58 degrees. By Monday, 59. And then the 60s are back on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Tuesday, 63, and Wednesday and Thursday, 66. Our Walgreens and Wayne TV Weather Radio giveaway continues. We still have a couple more weather radios to give away. Just go to our Wayne.com contest page and enter your name there. The next winner is announced at 6 o'clock tonight.
The countdown is on. 2 more winners, right?
Yes. Can't believe the supply is almost gone.
All right. Thank you so much, Nicholas.
Coming up tonight at 6, the U.S. men's national goalball team is getting ready for some national championships by training at Turnstone in Fort Wayne. Hear what they're hoping for this summer.
But first, a local elementary school even surprised themselves with the amount of food that they've raised for a local food bank. How much food Perry Hill Elementary School students have raised when First at 5 returns.
Coverage you can count on continues with Heather Herron and Brett Thomas.
Perry Hill Elementary students are fighting hunger in our area, one can at a time.
That tops tonight's stories for your well-being. The students collected more than 1,400 cans, breaking their original goal of 500. All the food will be donated to the Community Harvest Food Bank. The can drive was put on by the student ambassadors. The ambassadors were shocked when they heard how much they collected.
I thought that we would get 500, but I had no idea, like, over 1,000. That's, like, so surprising for me.
Now that this school has shattered their original goal, their next one is 1,500. There's 1 day left in the drive.
A cool day today. Another one's in store for us tomorrow. Nicholas has a final look at the forecast when we come back. Jean Stratton Porter was more than just an author.
She was also known for her love of nature, photography, and work in the film industry. Jane Polly has more on the Hoosiers' life in today's Bicentennial Minute.
Celebrate Indiana with this Bicentennial Minute, brought to you locally by Midwest America Federal Credit Union.
This Indiana Bicentennial Minute is made possible by the Indiana Historical Society and the law firm of Krieg DeVault.
An author, she wrote 26 books, several made into movies. A columnist published regularly in national magazines. A nature photographer bent on capturing the scenes of her vanishing Indiana wetlands. And a movie producer. Jean Stratton Porter was one of the most remarkable women of her day. Jean was born in 1863 and grew up on a Wabash County farm. After marriage, she lived near the swamp that inspired her stories. A girl of the Limberlost, the Harvester, and Freckles. After development drained her beloved wetlands, she moved to Rome City and built the cabin at Wildflower Woods. It's an Indiana State Historic Site, open to a public who loves Indiana as much as did Jean Stratton Porter. I'm Jane Pauley.
This Indiana Bicentennial Minute is made possible by the Indiana Historical Society and the law firm of Krieg DeVault.
Well, we're in for a stretch of cool days, aren't we?
Yeah, that's right. The temperatures the next few days, pretty similar in the afternoon. 59 tomorrow, 57 on Saturday, 58 on Sunday. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy. Saturday will be a rainy one, especially come afternoon and evening time. On Sunday, that rain will move out early and we'll be left with a dry day. But yeah, a little bit on the cool side, so keep those jackets handy. Don't put those springtime clothes away, those wintertime clothes away. You know, that does not fool Mother Nature or make her, you know, change the weather.
It probably jinxes us, right, when we do that?
That's what I think.
Yeah, I saw somebody wearing shorts today. They're just trying to urge it on.
Yeah, all right.
Gotta have
Thanks,
patience.
Nicholas. Yeah, you do.
See you at 6.